It's 2026, and if you're into the world of smart home and smart home products, you probably should be using Home Assistant. But why, when Apple Home, Google Home, Amazon, and other platforms, why use Home Assistant? I'll take you through why I've ended up coming back to Home Assistant time and time again, but also some more user-friendly options to help solve some smart home headaches as well. So first, let's talk about what Home Assistant actually is. At its core, Home Assistant is an open-source home automation platform that runs locally on your own hardware. That means all of your automations, all of your smart home control, everything happens in your home, not some company's cloud. And these automations can be way more complex than the ones that you can do with your average smart home platform. Because Home Assistant is open source software, it's maintained by a large community of developers and enthusiasts who continually add new integrations and features. This is one of the coolest things about Home Assistant. It's become much more modular and somewhat plug and play depending on what you're trying to do and how technical you are. You can start with something as simple as their purpose-built hardware like the Home Assistant Green, which is what I use and has been great overall, or you can install it on your own hardware. The Home Assistant Green is a simple plug-and-play device. You literally just plug it in, connect it to your network, follow the setup steps, and you're good to go. And if you want to expand your setup, Home Assistant has these things called add-ons, which are essentially plug-and-play modules that you can install with just a few clicks. Things like Node-RED for visual automation building, or ESP Home for DIY smart devices, or even a full voice assistant that runs entirely locally. They also have official hardware modules like the Connect Zigbee-2, which you can literally just plug into your Home Assistant device via USB, and boom, you now have Zigbee, Thread, and Matter support. And because it's open source, if there's a smart home device out there, chances are somebody in the community has already created an integration for it. So what's new with Home Assistant? Well, in the past year, they've rolled out a built-in voice assistant with their Voice Assistant Preview hardware, a new section-based dashboard, a redesigned notification engine. They also have thread border router unification and energy management enhancements. And speaking of Home Assistant, let me give a quick shout out to where I get a lot of my smart home gear from, AmeriDroid, who sponsored this video. I've been using the Home Assistant Green, Sonoff smart plugs, and various sensors from their site for the past year. What I love about them is they're not just sellers, they're genuine tech enthusiasts who actually use what they sell, which makes a huge difference when you need some advice. So check out AmeriDroid and get 5% off your first purchase by using the link in the description below. But I should point out that Home Assistant is not the only locally controlled smart home hub out there doing these complex automations and running things locally. Homey is another option that might be worth a look at if you want some of the things Home Assistant can get you, like more complex automations, local controls, etc., but with a better designed UI that's also a bit easier to start off with. Homey, whose company LG acquired a 80% stake in 2024, rolled out quite a few new features, including Homey's self-hosted server, so you can run Homey Pro from your own hardware, very similar to Home Assistant. They released a matterbridge app that allows Homey Pro to bridge its connected devices, including non-Matter devices, to platforms like Apple Home, Google Home, all via Matter. That's actually a pretty important feature and something Home Assistant doesn't actually do in its default configuration. Homey also released a new Homey Pro with double the RAM and a faster processor, and a new Homey Pro Mini, which retails for a much more affordable $199 US, and that supports Zigbee, Thread, and Matter, but omits Z-Wave and infrared. Now you might still be wondering though, is getting an entirely different smart home platform really necessary? Like, what if you just want to run something on Apple Home? Well, Apple Home actually may be the one exception. Out of the big three, Apple is the only one that stores your automations locally on your Home Hub, which is either an Apple TV or a HomePod. So if your internet goes down, all of your automations and local app control will still work. Home Assistant will still allow you to run more complex routines and integrate with more different types of devices though, which you can then push to Apple Home via a bridge mode. That's what I do with my Zigbee smart plugs, for example. The only real downside with Home Assistant is that it just still lacks a bit of polish. Its UI can be kind of confusing at times, and it can be just somewhat cumbersome to deal with. And it can get so complex that some people are even just turning to Claude Code to help them get their Home Assistant installation exactly the way they want. And I'll link a story by Jen Toohey from The Verge on her experience with Claude Code and Home Assistant that was just fascinating to read. That's linked in the Learn More section of the blog post for this video. So that's why I use Home Assistant in 2026. Is it necessary for everybody? No. If you use Apple Home and you're happy with the automations that you can create there, you're totally fine. But if you want more advanced automations, want to be able to connect to devices that aren't supported by platforms like Apple Home, Google Home, etc., you want local control even when the internet is down, better privacy with your smart home data, or you want to bridge non-Matter devices into your smart home ecosystem, Home Assistant is absolutely worth checking out. And if you want to learn more about Home Assistant, including which hardware to get, I've left links to the Home Assistant Green and other options in our blog post, plus links to multiple retailers and live prices.